And they lift
your spirits.
my hubcaps off of me.
All right, welcome to the Sports Fiends.
Don't turn around. Don't turn your back on those hubcaps.
Welcome to the Sports Fiends. Sports. Oh yeah.
Nice.
That was good.
Is that part of the actual intro?
Might be.
I like that.
Okay.
That's like the
News.
basketball, right?
Yeah. Don't get me started, dude. Oh, man, I get caught in the loop.
That's such a good,
I listen to that song over and over again.
We'd like to dedicate this one to Bo Daddy Harris.
Oh man, we're really getting
Mr. Arthur, yeah, man.
mad already.
Yeah.
We'll have to play that at the end for sure.
I was going to bring a swear jar.
Just for this week or in general?
Just for this week.
Oh, okay,
I forgot.
got it.
I was going to just slam it down and, you know. Looks
You
like
wanna
we're
give-
live.
We throw a coin
we
in
are
there every
live.
week, I feel like.
Let's give the shout out to So High Studios.
Yeah, we are
So
live
high,
from
Colorado.
So High Studios somewhere in Denver, Colorado.
Somewhere.
You never know where it's at, though.
Very questionable.
Top secret.
High up, wherever it is.
Bat cave. Yep. How's it going, everybody? You are now tuned into the Sports Fiends.
All right.
I am Michael Wharton.
Oh.
Next to me, we got Mark Perez and Ryan Lagan. We unfortunately are not going to have Arthur this week. He's out on assignment. But
Did you say
that's,
unfortunate? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
We miss you already,
Shots.
Arthur.
All right.
Yeah.
We are going
yeah.
to take shots at you all
But we
night.
do have the hologram.
Yeah. But
There's
before-
Arthur's. Oh.
Yeah, we do have that. Yeah, we have an AI Arthur, so he'll be here in a
Spirit.
electronic spirit.
He's one
But-
of those. We're not sure which one,
Yeah,
but
but before we get to the show, we got to pay the bills. So this week's episode, as long as it is with every other episode that we've ever done, is brought to you by INV Vision. They are a local Aurora, Colorado optometrist. And you can go there and get some real nice classic fashionable shades hooked up, some spectacles. You know what I'm saying? They're located at 700 South Buckley Road, Unit K, in Aurora, Colorado. They have to my knowledge, they have some kind of deal going where you can go in there if you don't have vision insurance, and they can help you out and hook you up, make sure that you're taken care of, and you can see the world the way you're supposed to see it. You can find them at invvision.com or 720-762-4290. INV Vision, we see you.
Nice read.
see, who needs a script? Look at you go. That was great.
That was off the top of his head and everything.
Yeah, freestyle.
Straight off the dome.
Yep.
Didn't even transcribe it or anything.
No,
That was good.
No.
Off the top of the head.
All right.
So we got a show today, fellas. What do you think about the show?
I think we got a show today. What do you think?
So I think before we get into the real meat and potatoes tonight, we just need to knock this part out of the way so that we can get it over with. The USA men's national team in the World Cup is done.
Taking
They're
shots
out.
before he even introduces them.
Belgium spanked them. They smoked them. They smoked their boots. And that's just what happened. There was a lot of promise. People were getting real excited, a lot of hype, on the home field advantage, I guess, for the USA men's team, and they were looking good. And they
And the advantage of having the player back. I'm sorry.
Balagoon. Balagoon, yes.
Balagoon. They answered the corruption of the red card with some more corruption and and pulled an Uno reverse on him and let him join the game, and it didn't do a damn thing.
Nope, sure didn't.
No.
Sure didn't.
Nope. So. Do we have any thoughts on that before we swiftly move on to the next subject?
Yeah, it's. I was just gonna say it's a shame that it probably set U.S. soccer as a whole back by years in its development. Like, you think about the fact that 38 million people watched this game. That's more than I think most of the NBA Finals games, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was close. Yeah.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
Or
And
just above.
so tell me the last time that's ever happened for any soccer game in the U.S. or in general ever,
Probably
right?
never. I mean, they were getting so a lot of eyeballs on it, and it was looking like maybe it could sprout something exciting with soccer in America.
We wanted to believe. We were ready. We were ready to jump on the hype train. If they had, and nobody expected this team to win the World Cup, right? Like, we knew we were the underdog story, which we rarely are, but that's part of the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
But this was the round that it was like this was going to be the success metric, right? Because they've made the round of 16, 4 out of the last 5 World Cups, something like that. This was the team that was good enough, plus having the home field advantage, plus having like, an elite level like head coach that they've, never spent that much money on a coach before. This was the team that was going to make that jump to even just the quarterfinals. I'm not saying you had to beat Spain in the quarters, like that would have been a tall task.
It would have got tough as it going along.
Yeah, but like if you got over this hump against what was a far worse Belgium team than we made them look that day, we would have looked at this tournament as a success and a huge step in the growth of the game in domestically. And so now 40 million people watched us take a big old what in the middle of the field, and now we're back to, it feels like, kind of square one again, because we're not going to host another tournament for another 30 plus years.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate because it could have created a good hype for the sport, for the biggest sport in the world, to maybe take flight here in America.
Yeah.
But looks like it's not going to happen. But I don't know. They could come back in 4 years and maybe do something in the next. Didn't they find their coach?
Well, I mean, it depends if the coach ends up going back to like one of these European, top level leagues, because he's going to get offered more money to do that, more than likely, if that's what he wants to do, and he's going to coach higher, caliber, higher talent players. So it remains to be seen if he leaves Team USA or not. But yeah, I mean, it's the best coach they've had in their history, as far as I've read, and it's not easy to come by like guys like that want to get involved in. What? Oh, yes.
We have
Thank you for your contributions, Arthur.
Holographic Tupac here. Yeah, he's here.
But yeah, I mean, you would imagine it would have been 40+ million watching the Spanish game if they had some, by some miracle played well enough to advance against the Spaniards. I mean, it would have, I'm not saying it would have been Super Bowl numbers in the semis against France, but it would have been up there,
Yeah, there would have been a lot more interest for sure.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
One positive I think I could take.
That would have been even more embarrassing against Spain, though.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Maybe they could have lost, but held their own, and then it wouldn't have been as embarrassing as what happened against Belgium.
There would have been a whole fuss of winning based on us having our player back and stuff.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
It would have been a whole. It would have just.
So
poisoned the whole thing.
At least we dodged that bullet. At least nobody's going, it's only because of the FIFA corrupt. But I mean, Spain hasn't looked that good overall in this World Cup relative to their usual standard. I don't know if we would have beaten them, but I think if they had just been remotely competitive against Spain, that would have been a huge victory for the sport in the country. But anyway, I know that's more than y'all wanted to talk about that already. But thank you for the platform.
One positive that I could take from this is that a lot of Europeans came and visited our great nation.
We sold out a ranch dressing, right?
and they whereas they probably had their own perspective of us, and it wasn't maybe necessarily positive. They came here and they discovered barbecue and ranch dressing.
we thought
junk food.
We thought that we were hosting the World Cup for the sake of the U.S. Soccer Federation, but we were doing it for the sake of Hidden Valley. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
That stock is through the roof.
It was
I'm
big
sure.
Hidden Valley behind it.
Yeah.
Big hidden. That's good.
Something was hidden. So speaking of hidden, LeBron James is, I guess, not even communicating directly with teams. They're having people send voice messages to Rich Paul, and then he will choose whether or not to let LeBron James even hear what the message was. So what we thought was LeBron James maybe taking it down a notch and being a little humble and wanting to join a team, not for the money, not for his own personal fame, but for the win a championship, for that basketball glory, but is turning into quite the circus.
Come on, he only gets one decision left in his whole career, right? This is it. He's at the top of his little tower in a dragon-guarded castle, and people are sending ravens up there. It's exactly what he loves.
It's not like he doesn't have a whole film crew doing a documentary right now about the whole process.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I mean, and we had kind of put together this rundown a couple days ago, so maybe some of this is old news, but we know that nothing. DeRozan still hasn't landed a team yet, has he?
I don't think so.
So I mean, it's looking like the LeBron James thing isn't going to happen for the Denver Nuggets. I don't think so. I'm putting the odds of it at 0 unless I see it happen. Then we'll see. But it's looking like maybe a return to Cleveland or a return to Miami might be more likely, kind of, especially if you look at the betting odds on the
Cleveland,
thing.
Miami.
And Philly.
Maybe Philly, but that
3. No, they came out and said these are the 3 most likely. These are like the 3 finalists. Like he hasn't formally ruled out the other ones of that initial list of 10 that he gave, but the other ones are like long shots. It's considered between those 3 is the last that I read. So
I just don't feel like Denver, Colorado is necessarily LeBron James' sort of wheelhouse. You know what I mean? As far as lifestyle.
Everything with him at this point is about legacy, right?
Yeah.
And, they actually, I read something interesting. They were saying that had the Knicks not won the title this past year, it wouldn't have even been a decision. He would have just gone straight to New York. But the logic with not going to New York now is because they just won, if he signs with New York and they don't win, it's not worth the risk on his legacy to make that move. So that's the way he's thinking about it.
The odds went down significantly because the back-to-back is not necessarily a good bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like aside like the sideshow.
Just ask Oklahoma.
The sideshow that would come with him. I just. Would it be worth it to have all that happen in the everyone look at me, this is my farewell tour, and have that happen in our great state of Colorado with our beloved Denver Nuggets?
My initial feelings are no.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be annoying to me. I don't know.
I feel like his style of play works really well with like Jokic. You know what I'm saying?
That's where Arthur had me convinced. Actually, I don't know if we can get him back up here on the screen, or not, but I'm just kidding. But
he's back.
Anyways,
he's here to argue.
Yeah, he is exactly. But we after disc golf we sat there for like 30 minutes in front of my house, and he like had me pretty convinced that either LeBron or
DeRozan,
DeMar DeRozen.
Nope.
No.
Went to Toronto.
Oh, Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi.
Oh, he's still stuck on the Kawhi.
Well, that was why back. Yeah, this was a couple weeks back.
Well, there's a development with the Kawhi situation.
Here's a sidebar. Kawhi, that they put the NBA put the kibosh on that trade until they finished their investigation into the Clippers. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think that's going anywhere because it's like the NBA is investigating itself, and what's going to happen when they expose this like deeply rooted corruption that occurred in Los Angeles with the Clippers, where they were circumventing the salary cap by paying money under the table through like shady, possibly non-existent companies to get Kawhi some more money.
Yeah.
Once they expose that, guess what's going to happen? They're going to be finger pointing. There's going to be people tattletaling. There's going to be some snitching going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that's going to expose a lot more of that stuff that is probably happening in the NBA, and that's a bad look for Adam Silver and his current form of the NBA. And I just don't think that they're going to. I don't think they're going to bring the hammer down on the Clippers, man.
But also, like, what are they going to actually do? That because the whole thing that the NBA said was if Kawhi himself gets some kind of sanction out of this investigation, that Toronto then inherits those sanctions, right? But at the same time, it's like, what are they going to fine like the Raptors over it when they're not actually involved? Like it. To me, it's the same conversation around what the Celtics were having with Jaylen Brown after the Giannis trade falls through. It's right, like once you announce out there, okay, this trade's happening, you're going here, you're coming here. It's very hard to then just go back on that and say, oh, just kidding, come back. We love you here in LA. Come back to LA. And the same thing for Toronto with the guys that they included in the deal, right? So there's a lot of incentive on both sides to get it done. Still, I don't see a world where Toronto, like their statements kind of seemed like they were going to just bring them anyway, whatever the consequences were. But how punitive is the NBA really going to be with Toronto over something they didn't have any actual involvement with themselves?
It's funny because they, like you said, they are investigating themselves. You'd think that they would just like let them slink away over to Toronto and just like wipe this whole thing.
Yeah, that was kind of, I thought it was odd from the start. I'm like, oh, so he's just gonna like tiptoe like out of LA and go back to his old team, and then they're gonna, and then like I was like, are we gonna ever hear about this again?
Yeah, right.
But it is interesting because like if there's some sort of significant role that Kawhi had in this, which I mean, if it all comes to light and it is what they've said it was, then he is a part of this.
Sure.
then like what happens now that he's going to be a Raptor? That's like punishing the Raptors.
Let's say they do something crazy like, they fine Kawhi $100 million or something like that. They're still not going to count that against Toronto's salary cap. They're not going to pay luxury tax over it. It's like, even the worst punishment I can imagine, it's like, okay, we pay the fine and we move on, right? Like, isn't that how that ends up going? I don't know. Unless they suspend. The only thing I could see is if they suspend Kawhi for a long portion of time, if it's like, full season or something crazy like that, which I still don't see them doing. But hypothetically, that's probably the worst thing that could actually happen to Toronto in the scenario at this point.
Toronto might have been already setting up shell corporations anyways.
Right, right. They're already international. It's got to be so much easier,
Right. That really makes the legality of it all, or the legals, way more complicated.
Some fake bank up in Nova Scotia or something like that. What are they going to, take a boat up to Newfoundland and, check out what's going on up there? I don't know.
So I mean, it's looking like if LeBron, that was a sidebar. We're going to return to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
If LeBron James was a Nugget and there was some success, that would be fantastic as a Nuggets fan, but I don't think it's happening. I kind of don't want it to happen because I'm not like a hater, but I've just not ever been a huge fan of LeBron James.
I think
I don't think that he fits the mold of what like the team's like culture is. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like I said, I got the odds on that at 0.
The funny thing is, I thought that I was like, okay, maybe he like grew and like he's just gonna be like easy and slide into a team, but of course, no, he's gonna turn into a circus. Like this,
No, and then when they're talking about vet, he'll take a vet minimum. Like I was like really kind of side eye at that also because that just doesn't seem seem realistic for LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? He's a billionaire, and you don't become a billionaire by taking.
Sure.
Discounts.
I mean, we talked about this in the context of Jalen Brunson recently, and I know it wasn't him taking the vet minimum as opposed to him taking whatever 35 instead of 50 or something like that. But we talked about how by him winning a championship, like he's gonna more than recuperate, whatever pay cut that he took to bring those extra people onto the roster. If LeBron is serious about I will take the vet minimum to play where I most want to play and for a championship, then that is the single best. And I know how old he is, and I know he's probably going to decline more from even what we saw this year, and we don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But any conceivable version of LeBron next season for $3 million a year is instantly the best bang for your buck in NBA history on a single contract, no matter what team that you are. Any team that could have him should be lining up to take that. I get that it's annoying to put him on the retirement tour and, he's not actually the star here, but now all of a sudden it's all about him and all that. But my answer to you for that is winning cures everything, and you're not going to be nearly as annoyed if they're successsul in that relationship,
But there's a lot of Nuggets fans that, they're diehard, they're Nuggets fans in relation to that, you have quite a bit of ire for the Lakers, and so having LeBron come from a team you hate, you had so much of that emotion invested in hating that team.
It's not like, Kobe coming over after being in LA for 20 years though. You're talking about, he's not a Laker. He's LeBron. He's played all over the place. That is true.
He's kind of he's like a for hire sort of
right.
guy.
Yeah, he's a mercenary.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be mad, but I bet you there'd be a lot of Nuggets Nation out there that would probably put an asterisk next to any sort of winning season with that was involved with LeBron James.
I've had to cross this hurdle before because when I was a kid, the Red Sox and Yankees did not do any kind of transactions with one another ever, and I think it was around 2008 or so, right after that second World Series, that Jacoby Ellsbury went to the Yankees. Well, actually before that with Johnny Damon going over there, but then they started moving things back and forth, and it became normal. And at the end of the day, it was very weird at first. But if a guy came over and he was successful with us and he's wearing our jersey, guess what? Our closer right now, Aroldis Chapman, used to be a Yankee, and I've had no problem rooting for him now, right? And they haven't even won a title. I think you would be very hard pressed to see a Nuggets fan in the middle of a championship parade with a sourpuss on his face going, yeah, but he was a Laker before this. You know what I mean?
Watch
like,
me.
It just kind of it would just be really weird to see LeBron James in a Nugget. It's like giving me like Michael Jordan Wizards jersey vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's just,
sure. It's gonna be weird to see Jalen in a Sixers jersey.
I think that like he still averaged like 20 points with the Wizards, so it wasn't his fault that the Wizards were horrible when he came back. You know what I mean?
It's been nobody's fault. The Wizards have been horrible for all of eternity, but
Nobody
here we are.
And everybody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So my thing is, now we have DeMar DeRozen. Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's out there. He's out and about. You know, he's a good player. Like 18 and a half points a game last season, you know.
So I
50% from the field.
That was
like
the
a
first
Nuggets
time in
guy.
like 12 years he had an average 22. But yeah,
No,
go
you're
ahead.
good. No.
Sorry.
Like I don't know much about him. Like he seems like a troublemaker and like cancer in the team type of guy.
Think
Is this
so?
true to me? Is this true to you guys?
I don't necessarily know
No?
if it's that
Okay.
bad. He's been on
right.
a handful of teams, but he's a very, very solid player. But to his point, yeah, he kind of he was still good last season, but not as good as he has been. Like
Yeah,
kind
he's
of like
past his
through
prime,
his.
yeah.
He's 36 years old.
Yep.
And he was making 30 million upward over 30 million, I think, a year. But he got cut, right? He got broken up.
I mean,
so
yeah,
that
but
means your
it's-
price goes down when you're 36 years old and you get let go. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well, and
Yeah, that's yep.
it's Sacramento. You're in a rebuild. You're not going to pay for that contract when you're basically just trying to give your young talent more time on the court to develop at this point. I mean, here's the thing with DeMar. Like, in his prime, the most competitive teams he was on were Toronto teams that couldn't get over the hump, right? Remember, Raptors won their championship immediately after trading him away. He's never truly been that close to winning a championship. Maybe that's where you're getting like the locker room thing from. I've never heard him be anything but a good teammate. He's just been a part of a lot of bad teams, right? Between years of struggle in Toronto, between years in Chicago, a couple years in Sacramento now. Like those are not. He's not coming from like a winning culture, so to speak. But he's never been looked at as like the problem because he's always Mr. You get 22 a game out of me. I'll give you 5 boards and a few assists, and I'm not going to be an elite defender, but I'm not going to be a liability on the defensive end either. At least for most of his career. Obviously, he's getting older now, and I don't watch much Sacramento basketball. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what he's been like recently, but in the past, he wasn't like a defensive liability per se.
He does have like a lot of like attributes that I think like would be valuable to the Nuggets. Like he's kind of a beast, in the lane. And he's trouble around the rim. You know, he's not the best like long range
Ball
threat.
handling.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just the price. Because I just don't think he's an option for the Nuggets right now. Because first of all, we're still like kind of we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do with Payton Watson, and I feel like maybe like the delay in signing Payton Watson is like twofold almost, because like first of all, I'd expected more offers to come in for him, and that just hasn't happened. And I don't know, like the market isn't what like they thought it was, and
It seemed hot at first.
and that seems like that's a good thing for the Nuggets, because then they don't have to like try to match like some 30 million crazy thing, what I'm saying, some contract that someone else offers. But I feel like maybe they're hesitating because they're trying to still work on the LeBron thing, which isn't fair to Payton Watson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a weird position to be. But like LeBron shouldn't impact it, because if you're signing him for $3 million a year, that doesn't really dramatically change the Bucks.
$3 million a year. There's no way that LeBron James is going to take $3 million.
He's not playing in
Did that come straight from his mouth, or was it? Did Rich Paul say that? Or
Rich Paul definitely said that. LeBron might have said that too.
Yeah, but Rich Paul says a lot of things. That guy strikes me as like a used car salesman.
Yeah, but remember,
big time.
Cleveland was like one of the only teams that was over the second apron last season. Harden hasn't signed his extension because he's waiting to see if LeBron goes there, because he's going to have to take less if he does. The only way Cleveland has any shot of signing him is if he takes that $3 million. So if he's willing to do that for Cleveland, I don't see why he would expect like. his whole goal is winning a title. Miami's still trying to fill out half their roster too, right?
Doesn't that kind of seem like the best option or the most likely option though right now for
Miami?
LeBron James? No, Cleveland.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Cleveland.
Go full circle. You know what I'm saying? Put a nice little bow on his career. You know, probably make a deep run.
It would make the most sense for the farewell tour.
That's where he's from. You know, that's where he's got homes there. I'm sure. You know.
Does he put them over the top as far as a favorite in the East, though?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're quite there yet. I think that he has a better chance with the Nuggets in the Heat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe Philly, but
I feel like he probably wants out of the West, though. You know, the fact that he gave his final three as Cleveland, Miami, and Philly.
He picked the wrong year. The East is getting all stacked up now.
The East the East isn't necessarily stacked up though, because like the reason that the East came on top in the championship is because the Spurs were absolutely beat down in a crazy 7-game series against another team that was absolutely beat down.
Yeah,
the West is so tough that by the time someone can scratch and claw their way out of it and get to the championship, whoever's coming out of the East is fresh and well rested and ready to play some basketball.
Is a big deal in the West.
Especially after they swept through the semis in the conference finals, right? If they if Boston had gotten through Philly, for example, right, or if they had gotten pushed 6 or 7 games themselves on the way up there, who knows how that series would have played out, to your point. But I mean, the Knicks obviously have had to make sacrifices on their roster because of their success, right? They've already let a few pieces go. Miami doesn't seem that deep current state, at least yet. Philly is an untested combination, and as always is going to be dependent on Embiid's health as far as what their ceiling looks like, right? Who the hell knows what's going to happen in Boston at this point? Like, I don't think the East is, they're shaking and moving and they're trying to get better, but I don't think the jury's out on if they actually have gotten better or not, especially relative to the West.
That's totally fair.
So, I don't know. Do you think who did the Clippers just pick up
in the Kawhi trade? Or you mean in general?
Just in general.
Didn't they had to let go of didn't they sign the guy from Miami again, Norman Powell, or did he go somewhere else?
Who did they give a contract to? That's what I'm trying to I swear they gave somebody a big contract. Which kind of hinders their ability to make a significant offer for Payton Watson if they're indeed interested in him.
They did a big trade. Well, they were involved in the Chris Middleton trade. That was an interesting one. Hachimura. They gave a contract to Rui Hachimura, but it was only for 2 years, $28 million. It wasn't crazy.
I wonder if I don't know. It just seems odd that there hasn't been any offers. Anybody. There's no behind backroom sort of discussions when this happens. Like if he gets an offer, that's got to come to light immediately so that the Nuggets can try to work the math.
Yeah, they get the opportunity to match it exactly.
I don't know. I just think it's odd that people thinking that maybe Payton Watson is not necessarily he's just too small of a sample size of his significant improvement last season while he was healthy. Or are they concerned about injuries or?
From within my heart, that's what I feel like. He had some good games at the end of the year last year, and he was on the rise, and then he got hurt. But I still don't think that he's all that proven, dude. I don't know if he is deserving of this huge contract.
Especially after how Christian Brown's contract has gone up to this point, right? You paid a lot of money based on your perceived ceiling of a player, and you can only do that so many times.
We're so bad at that, dude. Giving people their money before they show any kind of promise.
Well, you gotta balance it, right? Especially in the modern NBA, and this isn't just the NBA now. They're doing this a lot in the MLB too. I don't know if you guys have seen. They got guys that are top prospects coming out of the minor leagues that haven't played more than a week in the majors, and they're getting 8-year contracts, for whatever it is, 10, 15 million a year, because they're betting these could be 40 million a year players in the near future. But, obviously they're taking the risk at that stage that they flame out and don't actually even stay on the roster either. But they're like, well, that's the only way for us to build, a deep roster without spending money the way the Dodgers do. So it's a little different, obviously. It's not apples to apples because the lack of salary cap and all that. But, NBA is same idea. If you can gamble a little bit on, a little bit early in a guy's development and get it right, that's how you win championships, is by by having multiple guys on your roster that are outperforming the value of their contract. Because otherwise, you're just going to be league average because you're all spending the exact same amount of money.
We just have such a bad track record of this.
Yeah.
Najee,
Bad bets.
They just got to get rid of that guy, but then they never will. They did get rid of Valanciunas, though. Jonas Valanciunas is gone. That frees up like 10 million, something like that. I think.
For sure.
Rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah.
You think he's going to Greece? They said some other teams want him too, but I know he wanted to go to Greece last
Lithuania. I heard talk that he could go to Lithuania, but I'm sure he's got plenty of teams that are trying to.
He's got some suitors. He's just, I mean, I'm still. I don't know. I know there are definitely holes in his game, but I'm still surprised he didn't get more minutes down the stretch.
He maybe more minutes, but he was definitely a little inconsistent. I don't know if he just didn't click with the Nuggets or what the deal.
A weird defensive liability, and that's when they kind of got benched. It was like really, I don't know. I dug his presence and his bullyism.
Yeah,
because we don't have anyone really that does that.
He was kind of the closest thing we had to an enforcer out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Which is definitely something the Nuggets are lacking, is that physicality and that sort of nastiness.
I guess we could have expected it a little bit, as far as the transition from regular season to playoffs, because in regular season, Jokic isn't going to play as many minutes, and you can get away with a little bit more experimentation around, Valley and Jokic lineups at the same time. The playoffs, you can't really get away with two guys on the floor at once that can't guard on the perimeter, and you can't really take Jokic off the floor if you're the Nuggets because you're not deep enough, especially when you're hurt. So I guess those are both big factors in that equation too that maybe made him look like, he fell out of more favor on the outside looking in. I don't know. It's hard to say what's going on behind the scenes in those conversations, but it just felt weird he didn't touch the floor.
Yeah, I don't know what that maybe that's part of the reason why some people were kind of wanting Adelman out of there, but because he was falling into that same old trap.
But the biggest thing I would think is happening right now with the holdup with P.Watt and DeRozan and some of these other guys is it feels like the NBA free agent season, although it's to a lesser extent now than in some previous summers when we've had all these crazy big names that are on the market, it feels like it's always a game of dominoes, right? There's usually, a couple people towards the front of the line. Maybe that's LeBron this year or whoever it might be. And, because of the amount of teams that are waiting on those dominoes to fall, it stops all the other ones from going until those things start happening,
Goddamn LeBron holding up the whole thing.
It's just how he likes it,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's turning into this whole circus thing. It leaves a sour taste.
What if he's gonna have a 3-hour ESPN special?
Oh my
when
God.
he makes the decision.
You're gonna miss it when it's gone, though, right? Who's gonna attract this level of attention again after he leaves? Because Wemby's seems like he's just gonna want to stay in San Antonio. Same with SGA and OKC. So who's the next guy that's that valuable?
Luka.
I mean, Luka. You don't think he's gonna stay in LA?
Yeah, probably.
It feels like the pendulum swing is kind of coming back a little bit, where these guys they don't even hit free agency anymore. The only way they end up leaving is if it's a Giannis situation and, they've exhausted every possible option of being competitive and there's no, short-term rebuild in front of them and they have no choice but to trade the guy. But it doesn't feel like guys are going to hit free agency at that caliber of player, the way it was happening for a while there post decision.
What do they call in the Lakers now? Snow time.
Snow time Lakers. Yes.
What? Maybe this experiment doesn't work there, and then Luka wants to get the hell out.
I mean, maybe, but if he does, then the Lakers trade him. They don't let him hit free agency.
Yeah. We'll see.
That's the part.
I don't know if Luka seems like the kind of guy that's gonna pull those kind of stunts. You know what I'm saying? He seems.
If he was going to hang around in Dallas,
Well, mean, here's the thing. I think the unique thing about the decision and everything around that was up until that point, guys just didn't leave the place that they were drafted, right? It wasn't a financial incentive to do that. You wanted the team to build around you. You built a home somewhere, and that's where you stayed, right?
They stuck with their squad, man. They had integrity,
right? And then you think about okay, what was it, 2010 or 11 or so? Cleveland had just recently gone to the NBA Finals, and it's Cleveland we're talking about. So even if they had an inkling that LeBron was going to leave, if you're Cleveland, you're never going to get a player like that again. You can't afford to, to try to move him if there's any chance that he stays, right? And so obviously they made that move at that point in time, and then that kind of changed the way players thought about it, it seemed like, for a long period of time. Now it's like, I don't know if it's just because there's more candid conversations happening, or franchises have accepted, the pendulum swung the other way because they came around to the reality that these guys will drop you, like yesterday's, front page or whatever, that now you don't ever get there. Like, if there's any doubt you're leaving, then a year in advance, 2 years in advance, we're shipping you out because we know we can get 6 first-round draft picks for you, Or 2 first-round draft picks if you're Jaylen Brown.
Who knows? Like, maybe Jokic could be the next LeBron James because he still hasn't signed his extension.
Yeah, but didn't he say that was because he can get more money by signing it next year?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what they said he said.
Oh, okay.
But there's a lot of Nuggets fans kind of freaking out now, putting odds on it. And
when we wrote this was early on in the week, and then it was kind of cleared up by... Was it Jokic or?
Yeah, it was Jokic himself. Yeah,
right.
he gave. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's going to stay a Nugget. Because but there are people freaking out, man. There's a lot of people that are like, look, like this is a bad. This is the like. Read the tea leaves, like the fact that he's not signing. He was complaining about the team didn't get past the first round because they just weren't good enough, and he might be getting mad at his teammates because they're not putting in the passion and trying to go fight Jaden McDaniels the same way he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so people are freaking out when he said he won't sign his extension. But I got a question for those people. Like, when's the last time that Jokic said he was going to do something and then he didn't do it? You know what I mean? He's the anti-LeBron, man. He's
totally.
I don't have any reason to believe that there's any risk of him heading anywhere else.
In fact, when we were talking about the LeBron stuff earlier, like him coming to the Nuggets, I think the last time that we even had a situation like that where there was just fans of the player was when Melo was here. Because there's people from all around the world that just followed Melo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Or even like Syracuse fans or like whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like...
I also think there's an element, too, of like, if you're playing in like L.A. and New York, that's one thing. But if you're not playing in an L.A. and New York and you're a superstar player, the second there's like, a hint of a, potential that you might leave, like the news media wants to make that a story, right? Because, if they can force you to LA or New York by just driving the hype train forward, everybody makes money, right? Like, they're not making as much money across the country with Jokic in Denver. It's great for Denver. It's not great for ESPN, though, So, I not to put my tinfoil hat on too much on that, but, you got to follow the money a little bit. I think that is not a negligible part of this. Like,
the Melo dynamic was a little bit different, though, because Melo was like, he started a Nugget.
I get that.
And then
but
he kind of in some people's perspective, he betrayed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think he didn't
sold
get along.
out.
He didn't get. Yeah, he sold out.
I felt that way.
He wanted to go to like the cool place and
to New York.
Yeah, so and that's similar, I guess, to like a.
So we got half the Knicks for him.
A parallel to the LeBron mind frame, but like I don't know. I don't think Jokic is going anywhere. I'm not too worried about it at all. That's a crazy amount of money he's going to make. He's set for life.
Yeah, that would be brutal if he did that. Unless the NBA is gonna, stand up an expansion team in Lithuania next year. That would be the only scenario, I think.
I wonder how much is.
I know
Jokic.
he got all tender about him being captain on the Serbia team. Did you guys see that?
Oh, really?
They made him captain. He was like, "Oh, no one's ever made me a captain." He's all, like melting about it. It's pretty funny.
It's not. Yeah, I mean,
and then I thought about it. I was like, he's not the captain on the Nuggets or what?
Do they do captains?
I mean, he's not really like a.
Do they even do that? Yeah.
I don't think they do them.
Is he even really like a leader like that? Anyways, though, just like in his DNA, like is it?
Yeah, that's right. It's Christian Brown, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
According to Christian Brown, he's the leader.
He definitely. I think like he's been forced to find his voice more as the years have gone on. You see him yelling in the huddle a little bit more and stuff like that. But he's not one of those that was naturally outspoken like that.
Right.
Throwing plays up on the whiteboard.
Well, I guess on Team Serbia he is kind of.
And it also comes from like the background, right? Like most people that are like big superstars like that are like high level first round picks and stuff, and they've been the guy for the majority of their basketball career, if not the entire basketball career. And so from the second they were like playing at that level, they were like, you're the guy. You got to lead this team. They're going to follow you, right? And Jokic, obviously, to get to the NBA in the first place, of course, he had to be an elite basketball player. But there was a reason that he was coming in, middle of the second round or whatever it was, because, he had the opportunity to, kind of hide in the shadows, Simpsons meme, disappear into the bush a little bit.
Develop a little more.
Yeah, right. And he was comfortable with that. He didn't need to be the one everyone was looking at all the time. So,
have you seen any of those Team Serbia highlights though?
No, I didn't watch it.
Them boys are balling.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
All kinds of assists. Yeah, I think Jokic hit a couple dunks.
Nice.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah, it's looking pretty.
He can still do that.
I want to see Jokic's 3-pointer come back, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
I
wonder if
outside of that mid-range shot.
with his back and his wrist and his whatever else is bugging him last season, I'm sure that it's a grind, man.
It is a grind.
I think that everyone knows, and that's kind of the main excuse to go to for the Nuggets not performing well in the playoffs was injuries. But I think it was like an anomaly this year because it was bad. You know what I mean? How depleted they were.
Well, and Jokic and Jamal were healthy, and they both were ice cold that entire series.
Yeah,
too, to be fair.
Were they though healthy? There's
sure.
a straight up a calf strain you can't play. You know what I'm saying? But then there's a Christian Brown's ankle, but then he tried to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then in the season, he was coming back, and he even was saying in interviews that he didn't feel like himself. He kind of lost his confidence because of that. And
sure.
Jamal Murray went so hard for the whole regular season that come the playoffs, he just kind of ran out of steam, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's easy to speculate on those things, and I think every team probably deals with varying levels of playing through injury and stuff like that.
Hurt.
But I didn't see any MPJ shoulder pads on out there or anything like that either. You know what I mean?
It was kind of like the Avalanche in the Western Conference Finals, where they'd lost 4 straight to the Golden Knights, but even though they're the best team in the league. And if they replayed that series 100 times, that's never going to happen again. It might have just been a bad series. You know what I'm saying? That happens. It kind of if it doesn't start going your way right off the bat, it snowballs. There's momentum. You're losing that momentum, and that's all a real thing.
Right.
I don't know, but it is kind of crazy that seems like every single sports team in Colorado is running it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's quite odd. The Nuggets haven't made any big moves. The Avalanche made a few, but they're pretty much essentially the same team.
The Broncos made a big move,
Yeah, one move,
Waddle.
but everything Waddle,
Which
but that's not
Arthur Puput, of course,
But that's not trying to. That's one move. I don't think that. I think that what they're doing they made this one move, but I still see it as they're running it back. They feel so confident in their team and in their vibe in the locker room that they're willing to kind of. They saw how well they did last year. All the one score games aside and luck and all that stuff that happened. I think that they feel confident in adding Jalen Waddle doesn't make it not running back.
Well, I don't think
situation.
you can discount the difference with giving the play calling duties to
there's that
to the
too.
new guy
Actually,
as well,
you're
right?
correct. That's pretty significant as well. But we'll see if he's a real play caller, or if it's like a puppet situation. You know what I mean?
And also, when you win 14 games and you conceivably were a broken ankle away from a Super Bowl, I wouldn't have wanted them to tear much of any of it down anyway.
No, it is people like Tyler Columbus was saying that all his years of watching the NFL, playing in the NFL, and then covering the NFL, he's never really seen a team run it back like this. It's new, it's an experiment,
Right.
But I think it's a good time for it because after last season. The broken ankle. I don't know if Bo Nix was going to be able to throw a football in that snow either, though.
He could have run at least, though.
But maybe if Davis Webb was out there calling plays, they would have just went for that field goal.
Well, and don't forget, the snow was late third quarter. They had 2.5 quarters to put up points, and they didn't. They had the one scripted drive to start the game, and after that, it was nothing.
I would like to see an offense that gets going early.
Right.
This year.
I think that the first 2.5 quarters with Bo Nix would have probably produced a little bit more than Jarrett Stidham.
At least
We love you,
more
buddy,
yards.
but that wasn't that ain't it.
Big
homie.
Stiddy.
Big Stiddy City
Yeah,
was over
Stiddy
before it
City.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City.
We all wanted to see the Stiddies, and then we didn't like it when we saw the Stiddies.
No.
We'll put those back away.
Yeah, cover them up. But yeah, no, but like, yeah, I agree that the Davis Webb thing is a significant change, but like, I don't know, it's still going to be the same playbook, but maybe because part of the problem, and Sean Payton has made this clear that like he's just getting older. He's kind of like second guessing himself.
Sure.
He's got super long play calls. He's shaking, and he admitted that he's shaking due to like medications and too many Diet Cokes.
Right.
And all that was like kind of like putting a little bit of a wrench in the spokes as far as how the offense was running.
Right.
And this one change would be to put a younger guy in his place and then call his plays, you know what I'm saying, but in a more efficient manner.
Yeah.
You know, someone that's not going to be second guessing themselves or shaking and you know, struggling to get the play calls in, and that could definitely
Adderall or something.
could be an improvement on the offense, you know, but like still kind of the same team though.
Yeah. So
Still kind of a run back.
to your point,
Part
like
2 sequel.
I think, okay, Broncos, for the reasons we just discussed, running it back makes sense. I think the Avs, like, you know, you just won the President's Trophy. Like, you know, running it back makes sense there too, for the most part. Like, you don't win the Stanley Cup when you win the President's Trophy, but obviously the talent, if the talent is there to dominate the league all season long, you can't look at that Vegas series and tell me, oh, we got to tear this whole thing down and start over or else we don't have a chance, right? I think it was, you know, like you said, momentum, matchups, you know, the puck breaking the wrong way. Like, that team is good enough to win. In the Nuggets case, yeah, like, I'd feel a lot better about running it back if they won 60 games as opposed to 54 or whatever it was, and if they went to, you know, let's say the Western Conference Finals or something like that as opposed to getting bounced in the first round.
Yep.
I just think with the Nuggets, the difference is not necessarily, like, I don't think it's running it back because you feel like that's the best thing to do. I just feel like you have very limited options unless you move the big piece, which is Jamal, which, you know, obviously I don't know what talks they've had with who about that, but I haven't heard, you know, talks like they're close to doing that either, you know?
No, I mean,
Supposedly that first deal fell through for Jaylen Brown because they didn't want to include Jamal.
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
I do have to run. It is softball playoffs, unfortunately. Playoffs? Don't talk about the playoffs.
Playoffs?
But thanks for having me, y'all.
Yeah,
have
ready.
have the last 15 minutes of fun
Right
here.
on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Slow
yeah.
pitch.
Yeah.
Always, yes.
Hell yeah, dude. Peace out, man.
Ryan's leaving.
Wow.
I didn't see that coming.
Neither did I. I
Oh
didn't
my
have that
goodness.
in my bingo card.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
unaware of that.
That was not on the roulette wheel, my
Do you
friend.
know anything about this whole Belichick getting hired for? Did you read anything? Because I didn't read anything.
I haven't heard anything about Belichick.
Well, it was in the rundown, but according to an article on ESPN, Sean Payton was planning on allowing Belichick to coach the Broncos while he was OC'd.
Did he say that? Is that from that like Seth Wickersham article or something?
I believe so.
I haven't read the article. I heard it's extremely long, taking you about 45 minutes to read that thing, and I don't got no attention span
right.
for that kind of stuff. I heard that the article's pretty good though, and then Sean Payton was saying a bunch of crazy stuff, kind of like opening up, and it's so weird that he's doing that this time of the season. But I haven't
didn't
even
mean to
heard
go down
anything
a road
about that.
that we didn't know anything about, but
I don't know. I don't know a damn thing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of like along the same. It's kind of along the same lines of you know, having a younger person called, you know.
Yeah, no.
Like
Belichick is not younger.
Well, but if he was just calling the plays and just handling,
I don't know, man.
You know?
I don't want nothing to do with Belichick. That
I'm
guy's a
saying-
weirdo.
Yeah, I don't. I'm glad that this didn't happen because
That guy's
you know,
robbing the cradle out here,
Yeah,
man.
he's definitely a weirdo.
No, I feel
That's
like
for sure.
isn't he kind of like banished from the NFL for now? You know, because he's
Right,
doing his college
No,
thing, and
this was all speculation, I believe. You know.
yeah, no, I haven't heard about that. If y'all know anything about that, hit the chat. Let us know.
Oh, yeah, let us know in the chat.
I would like to know if there's some wheels on that thing.
Yeah,
That's-
for sure.
Yeah,
No, I mean, but this must have been like a consideration.
yeah. I'm not sure.
Like a year ago or something.
Have you heard anything about the Seth Wickersham article?
No.
Oh, yeah. So he kind of broke it. I guess he wrote like his magnum opus. Sean Payton sat down with him and let him into the locker room basically all season last year, and he put together some kind of crazy, very elaborate sort of story for ESPN that kind of like Sean was like opened up for him and let him in. You know,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pause.
Yeah, I have to look into that. That sounds like a good article. To have access to the team like that, and
so, but I like back to what I was saying. Like as far as running it back with the Broncos, I think that's it. Whereas it seems like an odd choice and it's rare and like not many people are doing that sort of deal. People are always trying to like upgrade and get bigger, better, faster, stronger. Whereas the Broncos have kind of just added a pretty key piece in Jalen Waddle, and they've swapped play calling duties on the coaching staff.
Sure.
And that's just
to have two little fine tuned adjustments.
Yeah,
and
just add that to build on what they did last season. I think that's not it could definitely pay off, and they made it to the AFC championship.
Right, that's the thing.
Year.
Everyone keeps. I feel like a lot of people forget that.
Yeah,
because it didn't feel like we did it because of his ankle.
And the fact that like that's only just a few years removed from the whole failed Russell Wilson experiment. The end of an era. They
that was good.
That's pretty impressive, and I would say that I could. Because we were just a broken ankle away from possibly winning that game, I feel like last season was a success.
100%.
Do they have to go one step further this season for this next season to be a success? Like this upcoming season, let's say they make the playoffs again and they make it to that AFC championship game. Do they need to win that and get to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Just getting to the Super Bowl, is that a success, or do they need to actually get there and win that thing?
Obviously you get there and you want to win it.
Well, that's the ultimate goal. That's what everybody wants.
I don't think we need to do this much increments.
It's so hard to win a super, just to get to the Super Bowl and then to win that thing, man. That's not easy. For
exactly.
Teams,
so get there and win it, and don't mess around.
Yeah,
I don't. A second time, are you going to run it back again? Or what kind of improvements do you do on?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't at least. Because that game was weird last year.
Stakes is high.
Stakes is high, and that was an odd game, and I think that it could have played out. I just wish it didn't snow during that game, man. It could have been a much better game, more exciting.
It would have been completely different. I think we still might have, yeah.
I mean, Drake
squeaked it out.
Drake May looked like crap, dude. He was horrible. But a lot of people look horrible against that Vance Joseph defense.
Right,
anyway,
our defense was cooking, dude.
Yeah.
So
defense was cooking.
But that snow,
yeah, really
and
killed it.
I hate to just blame it on that, but I mean, it put a blanket on the offensive scoring.
So you're pretty much of the opinion that they need to win the Super Bowl in order for next year to be a success?
Well, yeah, dude.
I mean, if they simply just make it to the Super Bowl and put forth a respectable effort, then I'm going to be pretty happy about that. But, I mean, of course,
I guess I would too.
In my heart, I want a Super Bowl. Like, I haven't felt that for 10 years, and I want to feel it. I want
it again.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing better than just having those bragging rights for a whole year when your team wins a championship.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't take advantage of that as much as I should, but it's nice when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think this Super Bowl or bust. You know what I'm saying? But if they don't win, I'm not gonna beat them up for it.
I want to feel this confident like I do about the Broncos, about the Nuggets and their decisions in the offseason. So
yeah, I think of the three main teams, I'm most concerned about the Nuggets because they haven't done anything. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? We could have a healthy AG, a healthy Christian Brown, a healthy Payton Watson in the playoffs next season, and then that could be a whole. It'll look completely different.
Well, I mean, because we were killing it at the beginning of the season with all that.
Well, they had like the best. They had the best offensive output in the league throughout the.
Right.
Jamal finally got his flowers. With the All-Star and the like third team All NBA or something like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If
that can happen again, then that's good.
And as fans, we want to see like a big splash. We want to see them do something, make that better. That was disappointing last season, but they haven't done that. But
the question every team asks themselves at the end of the season is, how do we beat the guy that just beat us? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, pretty
if
much.
we made it into the playoffs. That's basically how Minnesota got constructed to beat the Nuggets. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Minnesota got rid of Naz Reid and Dante DiVincenzo's not going to be playing next season, so they got considerably worse, I believe.
I have to agree with you. They got that young kid that looks pretty good that they're kind of building their team around now.
Anthony Edwards?
No. Oh. He has a funny name. I'm sorry. Arroyo or Ayo.
Yeah,
that's it.
Ayo Adebayo.
Yep. There you go.
He's good. Yeah, he's real good. And Anthony Edwards is fantastic, dude. Let's just be honest. Anthony Edwards is completely incredible, but I feel like
he's got
he's
the injury bug too.
He's got the injury bug, and so he was not himself. But I also just feel like he's got a little bit of growing up to do. He just always 100%. Comes across as an immature guy, and it's hard to lead a team, when you're not fully in your right frame of mind. You know what I mean?
It's easy to lead a team when you're winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're just like, because you're just making fun of other people and stuff. And that seems like his leadership is just like kind of like getting everyone on the side to like make fun of the other team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, because part of a lot of his thing is humor, you know what I mean? Even in his tweets and like, going back and forth with
his questionable like personal life choices aside, he is a character, you know what I'm saying? He's a lot more entertaining of an interview than say like SGA. SGA is a wet blanket. Dude.
Oh man,
he has zero personality. He's just boring. His game's boring. He's boring.
With that Pomeranian fur coat or whatever he wearing.
Oh yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah. So I'm mostly concerned about the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
But as far as we talked about that Broncos defense though, and it was fantastic last year. But I think a big key element of why they were so fantastic was because of the pass rush. And now Jonathan Cooper's gotten into a little bit of trouble, and he might be A, suspended, or B, let go.
It's a crazy June, July here for the NFL, huh?
So
lots of crimes going on.
Let's just say that if something happens, and Jonathan Cooper's not available for 5, 6, 7, 8 games, or he's let go completely, we gonna take another look at Von Miller. You know what I mean? He's been campaigning hard. I think he kind of gave up on it. A few weeks ago, but he was trying to get with like Dallas, and they didn't
Dallas.
want.
That didn't go through.
Yeah, no, it didn't go through. So like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe his price could go down, and just like I don't know even if first of all, at this point, he actually did have some impressive output, and we're not looking for like best pass rusher in the league sort of stats. He put up some respectable stats. Was it last season or the season before? Was he injured last year? No, I think he played last year, and I think he had like 7 or 8 sacks or something like that, which is like close to like kind of what we would need to sort of be a compliment to Bonito. But I just don't think that Vaughn. I don't like the sort of like the begging that he's been doing to try to get back with his ex.
It doesn't seem. I mean? It doesn't seem good.
And then I hate to bring it up, but. If something with Jonathan Cooper, like I said, a suspension or he gets cut, Vaughn has not necessarily been, I love Von Miller, man. He's hilarious. He seems like a good guy. He's for the kids, you know what I'm saying? But he definitely has got his demons too. And
he definitely has some demons.
There was definitely some times where like he kind of maybe wasn't thinking about the Broncos and when making decisions or even before. I don't know. I just don't think that it puts I don't think it puts too much confidence in me to like try to. And plus, he's asking for too much money, man. He'd have to, if he wants to come for like a whatever tiny amount, maybe. But
sure,
the way they construct these leagues nowadays, man, there's like not any money to work with.
That's what it seems like.
They're trying to create that parity.
That's right. Yeah, unless you got to pay.
Yeah, you got to pay to play, but you can't pay too much.
Right.
Well. I think that we're probably going to have to wrap this thing up. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
We ran through the whole list.
We ran through the whole list. I can't think of anything else.
Ryan ran away from the show.
Ryan ran away from us.
Man, he was out before I even caught it live, and I was watching live. Dude. I was like, damn.
He's out. He needed to go. They're counting on him tonight.
They need him. They need them home runs,
That's
man.
right.
Go hit those HRs, man. Go hit those dingers.
That's right.
Don't
Thanks
strike
for
out.
Joining us this week on the Sports Fiends.
Thanks, everybody. We love you.
With the Fiends running the asylum this week.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
They should have never gave us the keys.
Nah.
Peace, Arthur. See you next week, buddy.
Later, Arthur.
Have fun, dude.
Stop doing this, dude. It's a podcast.